Hilchis Eidus Perek Tisha Aser. So here the Rambam is continuing the halachas of Edom Zayim. Now we learned Edom Zayim means two Edom came along and said that on this and this day, and this time, and this place, this and this happened. That's when the Edom, when they say Eidus, they have to say what time it happened, when it happened, and where it happened. Now comes along the second pair of Eidus, and they say, listen, whether this happened, what you're saying happened or not, we don't know. But we know that you can't be Edom to this, what happened, because at that time, you were elsewhere, you weren't there. In other words, your time, you were in Yerushalayim at that time, and Lepel, we know you were in Lud at that time. So Memela, it can't be that you saw this Eidus. And therefore, that's the gather of Edom Zayim. Now, what happens if two people come along and say a certain Eidus that happened in this time, and in this place, and now comes along a second pair of Edom and say, listen, you were with us, and you were very far from that area, and therefore you wouldn't have been able to see this Eidus that you're claiming you saw. Now, Lepel, if you have an unusually good eyesight, so obviously if you were in Lud and this was in Yerushalayim, so there's nothing to talk about, you didn't see it. But if, let's say, you were at a distance, you were on one side of the house, a big building, and this would happen officially on the other side of the big building, the question is whether or not it's really possible for you to be able to see from so far this Eidus. So if a person, usually a normal person with a normal eyesight wouldn't be able to see it, even though if you have an unusually good eyesight, you would be able to see it, but nevertheless, since the pashtus is that you wouldn't be able to see it, so therefore we consider that it's considered Edom Zayim, and therefore these people are Edom Zayim, and their Eidus they become puzzle, and their Eidus become puzzle. Whereas even though it's possible, and it's hypothetically possible that it's true if they have an unusually good eyesight, but we don't entertain that possibility, and we never on that they don't have an unusually good eyesight, and therefore they're puzzle. Now that is if L'moshel Diktaina that they saw something in Yerushalayim, and Lepel, someone the other Edom Ataining, you were in that day in the evening you were in Lud. So if you were in Yerushalayim in the morning, so how could you be in Lud in the afternoon? You can't get from Yerushalayim to Lud in one day, even by horse. So Elamai, maybe you found an unusually fast horse that you were able to travel so fast. So it's highly, highly unlikely, and we don't entertain that possibility. And therefore they have a din of Zayim. But that's the first halach here. Perik Tisha Aser. Shnayim shehidu va'amru b'mizrach habira hareg zes hanefesh b'shah plenis. On the mizrach side of this big building, so this person killed someone. Ubo shnayim va'amru lehem b'mayrev habira hazeis hayisim imonu beis hazeis. At that very time that you're claiming something happened on the east side of this bira, you are with us on the west side of the bira. Is I say, if it's normal that someone is standing on the Ma'irav side, should be able to see what's going on the east side, is Einam Zayim. So then obviously they're not Zayim, because Ein Echanami. They were taka on this side, and Lepel, they saw what was happening on the other side. There's no steer at all. However, is a person standing on the Ma'irav, normally shouldn't be able to see what's going on the Mizrach, is there Harei L'Zayim. So therefore these Edom that are claiming something happened on the Mizrach, and now we have other Edom that are saying that they were with them on the Ma'irav, so these Edom have a din of Zayim. Maybe the Edom HaRishenim have an unusually good eyesight, and they could see further than a regular person. We don't say that. We don't entertain that possibility. We know that the pastors, their eyesight is regular eyesight, not unusually special eyesight. And therefore, since a regular person can't see from the west side of the bira to the east side of the bira, so therefore they are established as being zayim. The same idea. Two people come along and say Eidus that on the morning this and this person killed someone in Yerushalayim. Now the other a second set of Eidus come and say that very day in the evening you were with us in Lud. In other words, you're claiming you were in Yerushalayim in the morning and saw something happen, but we're saying Eidus that you were with us in Lud in the evening. If a person is able to travel from Yerushalayim to Lud from the morning till evening, you can end up you were in the morning Yerushalayim and you could be in Lud in the evening, even if it would take a horse to do that. But Lepel, it's possible. Is Einam Zayim, because Lepel, it's no steer. There's no stira. They're saying they were there in the morning, in Yerushalayim in the morning, and the other Edom are saying that they were in Lud in the afternoon. That's not a problem. In the evening, it's not a problem. However, if a person wouldn't be able to get from Yerushalayim to Lud in one day, even with a horse, is Arei Zeimim. So they're Zeimim because Lepel, they're contradicting. They're saying, you're saying you were in Shalayim in the morning. We're saying that Lepel, you were in the afternoon in Lud, so obviously you weren't in Yerushalayim in the morning. Ve'ein Eimrim, Shema Kar Kal B'Yesin is Damalem. Maybe they found a very, very fast horse, a fast animal which took them very, very quickly. The Kiplus Haderech Memela, they were able to do the way very quickly. So we don't say that. We don't entertain that possibility. We always assess the possibilities based on what the regular ways are, which things that people know about, and therefore mizim neson. So even though l'cheira it's possible that they're not saying a lie, it's possible that it's true that they were in Yerushalayim in the morning and they were in Lud in the afternoon. But on the other hand, since the pashtus advarim is that it's not true, because the pashtus advarim is that you assume that there was the regular means of travel, so they had a fast horse, but lepel, a regular horse or a fast horse, even a regular fast horse, wouldn't be able to make it from Yerushalayim to Lud in that day. So therefore, the fact that maybe they had an unusually fast horse, there's a fast horse that you don't have matzui, or this person has unusually good eyesight, and Mamela is able to see from the west side of the Bira to the east side of the Bira, we don't entertain that possibility, and therefore they are considered Eidem Zeimim. Halacha Beis. Shnayim she'omru be'echad b'Shabbos harig zeh hanefesh mokum plein. Two people come and they say that on Sunday this and this person killed someone, and that and this place. Now ubo shnayim v'amru. Now another pair of Eidus comes and says, no, b'yem zeh imanu hayisem mokim acherach. If you were with us far away, you certainly couldn't have seen this Eidus which you're claiming happened on Sunday. Avol, the truth of the matter is that b'yem shel acher zeh harge b'vadei. This happened, what you're saying happened on Sunday. On Sunday you couldn't have seen it happen because you were elsewhere. But on the other hand, it actually happened on Monday. It happened on the following day. They're saying like this. You're saying that Reuven killed Shimon on Sunday. It's not true. Reuven, you never saw Reuven kill Shimon on Sunday. But the truth of the matter is, either they're saying Eidus, these second pair of Eidus, which are being maz in the first pair of Eidus, are saying, but the truth of the matter is that Reuven killed Shimon on Monday. That's one possibility. Or they're saying the truth of the matter is that Reuven killed Shimon on Friday. That Reuven killed Shimon on Friday is nevertheless hareza hahoirik im Eidav harishenim neragim. So this Reuven gets killed because of the Eidus of the second pair of Eidus. The second pair of Eidus are saying that Reuven killed him either on Monday or killed him on Friday. So this Reuven gets killed. But also, the Eidim that tried to kill Reuven also get killed. Even though Reuven is getting killed anyways, but the Eidim that tried to kill Reuven also are getting killed. Why? Sharei Huzmu, because Lepel, they were Eidim Zeimim, and they tried to kill Reuven. In other words, they were trying to kill Reuven. I Lepel, Aliba Damas, Reuven is Chayiv Misa. That's a separate story. But when they were saying Eidus on Reuven, Reuven wasn't Chayiv Misa, because there was never a Gemar Din on Reuven. You know, even if we'll accept the second pair of Eidus, that Reuven really killed Shimon already on Friday. But Lepel, there was never a psak din that Reuven is Chayiv Misa. So when these Eidim came and they spoke about what happened on Sunday, they said that Reuven killed Shimon on Sunday, so Reuven was a regular person that wasn't Chayiv Misa, and they tried to kill Reuven. So for trying to kill Reuven, for saying Eidus and trying to kill Reuven, they're Chayiv Misa. Aliva the Amos Reuven is also Chayiv Misa, because the second pair of Eidus are saying Reuven killed. But since at that point in time there was no psak din on Reuven that is Chayiv Misa, so therefore the Eidim get killed. That's the din. Nachamo. Afilu either ish achreinim shekedim kam b'yom mahargei hareza aherig im Eidim v'rishenim neragim. The herig gets killed because b'pashtus he was a herig. He gets killed. There's two Eidim saying that he was a herig, and also the Eidim v'rishenim that tried to kill this herig are also getting killed. Shari huzmu. They were trying to kill someone that was really killed someone. When they said Eidus that he was harag, adayli nigmar dinali harag. So according to the side that he actually killed on Monday, so certainly he was like nigmar dinali harag. That he wasn't yet a ritzeach. But even according to the second story, which he actually killed on Friday, even if he killed on Friday, but it was like nigmar dinali harag. So Reuven was a regular person. That's the din in a case where the second pair of Eidus are claiming that Imanu Hayisem on the first pair of Edom on the day that they said it, However, this person taka killed, either he killed before or he killed after, but there was late nigmar dinei. Avol bo shnei edim b'shlish b'Shabbos. If two edim come on Tuesday, v'omru, they say like this: be'echad b'Shabbos, the first pair of edim come along and say, be'echad b'Shabbos nigmar dinei shel pleina l'harigay. This person was nigmar dinei l'harigay, and therefore he's chayv misa. That was the Haggadah's Eidus of the Shnei Edim. Now, and they say where it happened. Where was the nigmar dinei? Where was the bezin? Now, bo shnayim v'amru. Now, a second pair of Eidus come and say, be'echad b'Shabbos imanu yisem mokum pleini arachik. What you're saying, Eidus, you said that you saw that on be'echad b'Shabbos it was nigmar dinei shel pleini liharig in this place. It's not true, because lepel, and it's not true that you were there, because lepel you aren't there. You were with us. That's number one. Ella me'erev Shabbos. In reality, he was taken nigmar dinei, but not on the day you're saying it, which was on Sunday, but it was rather on Sheni b'Shabbos, or it was on Erev Shabbos, either before the day you said it, or either it was before the day you said that it happened, or it was after the day that said it happened. So then, as ein edim elu shehuzman naragim shari mikol mokem be'eshi idolov kvar nigmar dinei leharigay. So since it was kvar nigmar dinei lehariga, so lepel, they were saying Eidus about someone that was already nigmar dinei. These Eidim come along and say on Tuesday that this person was nigmar dinei lehariga on Sunday. So they're basically saying that Reuven is chayiv misa. Now lepel comes along the second pair of Eidus and they say, listen, on Sunday you weren't there, so maybe you're really Eidim Zayim. But on the other end, he was taka nigmar dinei. Either he was nigmar dinei on Friday, or he was already nigmar dinei on Monday. Lepel, these Eidim, the first pair of Eidus, said their Eidus on Tuesday. So when they said their Eidus on Tuesday, and they were talking about the person that was, and they're tiny that he was nigmar dinei, he was taka already nigmar dinei. Either it was nigmar dinei before the day they claim it was nigmar dinei, or he was nigmar dinei after the day that they claim it was nigmar dinei. But on the day that they said Eidus, they were speaking about a person that was already nigmar dinei. Since they're speaking about a person that was already nigmar dinei, so therefore they're not chayiv misa. There's Eidim Zayim are people that tried to kill someone that was a person that wasn't chayiv misa. Masha'inkin, even if he killed already, but lepel, since he wasn't chayiv misa, so then they have a din of Eidim Zayim. Masha'inkin, if they tried to kill someone which was already taka nigmar dinei lemisa, so for that they don't get killed. That's this din. And Aldera Zeh is talking about getting killed for trying to kill someone that was already chayiv misa. And Aldera Zeh trying to be mechayiv someone money for an act which be'amis this person was already chayiv that money. So also again the same idea. V'chein le'inyan tashlumi knas ketzad. Bo shnayim b'shlishi b'Shabbos. Two people come on Tuesday. V'omru be'echad b'Shabbos ganav v'tovach v'nigmar dinei. That on Sunday he was already ganav, and then he was tovach, and he was nigmar dinei, and now he's chayiv either arba v'chamisha. Now bo shnayim v'omru. Now the second pair of Eidus come and say, be'echad b'Shabbos imanu yisem makom rachik. Because this Eidus that you're claiming you saw on Sunday didn't happen. You never saw this Eidus on Sunday, because be'echad b'Shabbos imanu yisem makom rachik. But the truth of the matter is that the story that you're saying, Avol be'erev Shabbos nigmar dinei, this story that you're saying happened, that he was a ganav, v'tovach, and nigmar dinei, that story actually happened on Friday. Unafilu amru be'echad b'Shabbos ganav v'tovach u'mochar, u'b'sheni b'Shabbos nigmar dinei. You know, as you're claiming that it happened on Sunday and it was nigmar dinei on Sunday, which we're saying you weren't there, you couldn't have seen it. But we're saying it was actually happened, either it happened on Friday, it was nigmar dinei on Friday, or it happened on Sunday, and lepel, he was nigmar dinei on Monday. So lepel, what you're speaking about someone that was taka nigmar dinei, but you're saying a story that didn't really happen. You're saying a story which should cause a psak din for someone, which really the story never happened. But on the other end, the psak din is true. The psak didn't happen already. So then is ein edim ela shehuzmu mishalman. These edim which were huzmun, they're saying Eidus on Monday, rather on Tuesday. I'm sorry. They're saying Eidus on Tuesday about something that happened on Sunday, and now the second pair of Eidus are saying these edim are lying. In other words, they never really saw the Eidus that they claimed they saw on Sunday because they weren't there. But on the other end, what they're saying really happened. It happened either on Monday or it happened on Tuesday. It happened either on Friday, which is before the date that they claim it happened, or it happened after the date they claim it happened. but it happened before the date they actually said their Eidus. So when they said their Eidus, they were speaking on a person that was already Nigmar Dinei, and he was Takachayev. So therefore, Ein Eidim Eila Shehuzma Mishalma. These Eidim that became Eidim Zayman don't have to pay. Sharim Mikol Mokim Be'eshi Ido Lov Chayev Hayel Shalom. When they said their Eidus, which was on Tuesday, was Taka Nigmar Dinei. V'chein Kol Ki Eitze Baser. So that's this din. So in other words, the Nekudas, there's two dinim over here. The first din was Benegea, that we don't assume that maybe he had an unusual eyesight, and we don't assume that maybe he had an unusual means of transportation. He was able to get there faster, and therefore we assume that things were regular, and therefore he becomes Zeimim. And now we're learning another din, that Lepel, when Edom come along and say Eidus about someone, so if it was already Nigmar Dinei before they said the Eidus, so Memele, even though Lepel they were Huzam, their Eidus were found to be Huzam, but Lepel they didn't have to pay Kasher Zamam, because Lepel they were speaking about someone that was either Chayiv Misa, or was already Chayiv Mammon. Masha'en Kain, if when they said the Eidus, the person wasn't yet Nigmar Dinei, even though later on these second pair of Eidus which are being mazin them are saying what they said was true, and Lepel they're Takachayev, what he claimed to be Chayev, they're Takachayev Misa, for example, but nevertheless, since while they were saying the Eidus, this person was never Nigmar Dinei Lemisa, so therefore they're considered Eidim Zeimim, and therefore Hu Ve'hei Neragim, Sai, the person that killed is Nerag, because he killed, because the second pair of Eidim that are saying he killed, and the Haim are also Neragim, because the second pair of Eidim are saying that these Eidim were saying Eidus when they weren't really there, B'shas Maisa. Halacha Gimel. Ein Eidi Ashtar Nasim Zeimim, At Sheyemru Bebezn Shtar Zeh Bizmani Kisavnu V'le Yicharnu. In order for an Eidim on a star to become Zeimimim, the fact that the Eidim are written, signed on a star, and the star says a certain date, and now other Eidim are going to come along and say, how could you have signed this star on that date, in which the star says it was signed in Yerushalayim, on that date you were with us in Bavel. So that's not really a problem, because when Eidim sign on a star, they're not really signing that they signed it on that date. All they're signing is that the star becomes a star, the takeover of the star starts on that date. The din is you're allowed to write a star mo'ucher, which means you could sign a star today and post-sign the star, post-date the star, that the star will be written, the date on the star will be a later date. And the Eidim aren't saying that this is the date of this is the date that they're signing. So Memele, there's no stira. That's what we're saying again. Let's read again. Ein Eidi Ashtar Nasim Zeimim. Eidim that sign on the star don't become Zeimim. At Sheyemru Bebezn, unless they come along in Bezn, they say, Ashtar Zeh Bizmani Kisavnu V'le Yicharnu, that we signed the star Bizmani and we weren't Ma'acher the star. We didn't post-date the star. So then they become Zeimimim. If Lepel, they're found to be Zeimimim. Avalim Le'omru came, but if they never said in Bezn that Shtar Zeh Kisavnu V'le Yicharnu, is Aval Pisha Zmani Shtar Bechad Nisim Yerushalayim. Moshe, you have a star which has a date on it, Be'echad B'Nissen, and it says that the star was written in Yerushalayim. Now, Ubo Eidim V'Yidu, She'edi Ashtar, that these Eidi Ashtar, which are signed on a star that says Be'echad B'Nissen B'Yerushalayim, Hoyu Imoim B'Bavel B'Yem Zeh, on Echad B'Nissen they were in Bavel. Ha'is star kosher, the star is kosher, V'Eidim Ksherim, because the Eidim never said that they signed it on Rosh Chodesh Nissen. She'ef Shekosvu, could be they wrote it, V'Yichru, Ukshehoyu B'Yerushalayim Be'echad B'Yodar. In other words, they wrote that the star was written in Yerushalayim, so that's true, it was written in Yerushalayim. But it was written in Yerushalayim on Be'echad B'Yodar, and Kosvu Shtar Zesham, and they wrote the star Be'echad B'Yodar in Yerushalayim, V'Yichru Zmani, and they postponed the Zman, V'Kosvu Zmani B'Nissen, they wrote the Zman B'Nissen. So the fact that the star says B'Nissen, Be'echad B'Nissen, Yerushalayim, and their Eidim saying that they were really in Bavel on Be'echad B'Nissen is not a steer at all. There's no steer, and the star is a kosher star, and the Eidim are kosher Eidim. Omru Bizmani Kisavnu V'Huzmu. So in the case before, they didn't say when the star was signed, so we're saying that even though the star says Rosh Chodesh Nissen, it says Yerushalayim, but it doesn't mean they signed it on Rosh Chodesh Nissen in Yerushalayim. All it means is that the takeover of the star starts on Rosh Chodesh Nissen. They could have signed it on Rosh Chodesh Adar, because you could allow to sign a star Mocher. So maybe there's no steer at all between the date that says in the star and the place that it says in the star and the Haggadahs of the other Eidos that are saying that on Rosh Chodesh Nissen they were in Bavel. However, if they're coming along now, these Eidim that signed on the star, which says Rosh Chodesh Nissen, and they're saying Bizmani Kisavnu, we signed the star Bizmani V'Huzmu, and now they found to be Zeim. In other words, the second pair of Eidos are saying that on that date, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, you weren't in Yerushalayim. So mainly you couldn't have signed this date, you couldn't have signed the Rosh Chodesh Nisan in Yerushalayim, is Azeh. Now, Lepeil, the din is that Edom Zeimim Mafreo Nifsal, which means when Edom say Eidus, and then they're found to be Zeimim, so even though they're found to be Zeimim later, but Lepeil, we go back to Mafreo from when they said they're Eidus, and we know that at that point in time they said Eidus Sheker, and therefore they're puzzled. Here we have Edom, we have a star that says Rosh Chodesh Nisan, it says Rosh Chodesh Nisan in Yerushalayim. Now we don't really know that this star was around on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. We don't really know anything about it. We know that there's a star sign on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and it's a star sign that says Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and let's say on Rosh Chodesh Iyar, these Edom are saying Bizmani Kisavnu. So what they said on Rosh Chodesh Iyar is definitely a lie, and therefore now that the Edom Hamizimim, the second pair of Eidus, are saying Imanu Yisam Rosh Chodesh Nisan, so Memela obviously they couldn't have signed it Rosh Chodesh Nisan in Yerushalayim, so therefore from Rosh Chodesh Iyar onwards they're definitely puzzled, and because they said a lie, so these Edom become puzzled. The question is, do they become puzzled? From when do they become puzzled? So on that the Rambam is saying it depends. If there's Edom that are saying we know when they actually signed the star, that we know when they actually signed the star, so then they become puzzled from the Zman Achsim and the star. If we don't really have Edom that saw them know when they signed the star, but we have Edom that saw the star, and they saw the star before Rosh Chodesh Iyar, so then they become puzzled from when the Edom saw the star. Let's learn inside. We have to go back to it because not so really glottic. Amru Bizmani Kisavnu. They come along, these Edom that signed on the star, and they're saying the star was written Bizmani, and then V'huzmu is Azeh. Im Yesham Edom Sheyodim Hayom Shechosmu Al Star. There's Edom that know the date they actually signed on the star. Oy Edom, or there's other Edom, or there's Edom that rose the Ashtar v'chasimas Yodin be'biyim plain. They didn't actually see the chasima, but they saw the date at a certain point in date earlier than the date that they said Bizmani Kisavnu. They saw the star. Is Kivish Huzmu. Now at this point in time they're Huzmu, and we know that this star was already written earlier. So the din is Harei Nifsalul Mafrei. They become Pasul Mafrei. Miyem Shenei the Shechosmu Al Ashtar. From when we know that they signed on the star, so they become possible. Why? Because signing on the star is a Maisa Haggadas Eidus, and Memela, that Haggadas Eidus, they're considered possible from when they signed on the star. That's what it says here. From when they signed on the star, either we know the date they signed on the star, or we know the date of Fachas, that there was this star in existence, which means they already signed on the star by this date. So from then onwards, they're puzzled. If there's no Edom that actually saw when they signed on the star. No one ever saw the star Mikedem. So we have a star on Chodesh Iyar, and they're claiming that Bizmane Kisavnu, it was written Bizmane, and now there's the second pair of Eidus that are saying that on that date, Imanu Yisim, you weren't in Yerushalayim. So then is ein nefsalim ela me'esh she'idu bebezin shezek sav yodam v'omru bizmani kisavnu. On that date, when they come along and they say zek sav yodam, and they're saying bizmani kisavnu, so at that point in time we know they're lying. Ve'efshe shebiyem zeh she'idu bebezin be'biyem chosmo al ashtar sheyesh lekamashonim ve'hem shikru v'omru bizmani kisavnu. In other words, we don't know of a lie that they made except from Rosh Chodesh Iyar. We can't really backdate their psul. We saw a star that says Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and Lepeil, they're coming along and saying Zek Sav Yodenu Zeh, and Bizmani Kisavnu, we signed this Bizmani, and Lepeil, they're found to be Edom Zeimim. So from when they said they're Eidus, Bizmani Kisavnu, and then they were found to be Edom Zeimim, they're Tak Apostle. But we don't really know that they actually signed it on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, because maybe they didn't sign it on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Maybe they actually signed it on Rosh Chodesh Iyar, and they wrote Rosh Chodesh Nisan. They backdated it. They made it as Mamukdim. Memela, we can't passel them only from Rosh Chodesh Iyar. So that's this din. Now, the Maisa is the fact that a star, since it's possible that a star should be a star mocher, and therefore the Edom don't become Zeimim by the fact that they signed on the star Rosh Chodesh Nisan, that's understandable. Al derech is that when they come along and they say that Lepeil Bizmani Kisavnu, and Lepeil they're found to be Zeimimim, and from there onwards they're puzzled, also we can understand. The Maisa is this din that when they come along on a Shchedish ear and they're saying that Bismani Kisavnu. And Lepel, there were Eidim that saw this star earlier. Lepel, when we saw the star earlier, we assumed that it was a kosher star. The Pashas Advarim was a kosher star. Because Lepel, since there was a star, and the Pashas, it could have been a star Ma'ucher, so therefore we assumed that it was a kosher star. Now, these Eidim are coming along and saying that this star, which we assumed earlier, was a star Ma'ucher, was really Bismani Kisavnu, and now they're found to be Zeimim. The question is, first of all, how does that, this Akasha that the Tum asks, how does that invalidate the star? They're tining now Bismani Kisavnu, but Lepel, when they signed on the star, at that point in time, we don't have a Yisod to say the Bismani Kisavnu, so why should the fact that they're saying Eidus now, Bismani Kisavnu, cause that the star should be puzzled? That's Shaila number one. Shaila number two is also, now we're coming along and saying that from when they signed on the star, they were already Psulim. We don't really know when they signed on. We don't know that they were really Psulim when they signed on the star. They're saying now a lie. They're definitely saying now a lie because right now they're saying Bismani Kisavnu and Lepel, they're being Muslim. But when they signed on the star, we don't really know that they said a lie then. At that point in time, it's possible that it was Taka Shtar Mocher. We don't really know that it was a star that they wrote Bismane and that they were puzzled b'shas they signed on the star. We're putting together the fact that they're saying now Bismane Kisavnu, and now they're lying. So now we're saying that the chsima that they signed was also a lie, and therefore they become puzzled from the Zman chsima. How could they become puzzled Bisman chsima based on what they're saying Eidus later on? So the Achreidim talk about this to understand how this works. That on one hand they're saying Eidus now, and they're saying Eidus about the chsima that they had before, and that's causing that they should become puzzled from the Zman chsima. We don't really know that they signed falsely. It's possible what they're saying now is a lie, but when they signed, the Taka signed kosher. But the pshat is that since right now they're saying when the chsima was, so we're accepting what they're saying that that's pshat in the chsima, and memela since the chsima lepel right now they're being found to be Edom Zeimim, so therefore they become puzzled from when we know that they signed. It needs still bitter pshat in the thing.